Hello everybody and welcome back to the funniest tweets. Today we are reacting to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Now I have literally just walked in the door about 15 minutes ago. We didn't get to do the recording of this whilst out in Vegas. We did do the podcast in a dingy little meeting room, so I apologise for the quality. But I'm back, I'm here, got the green screen, we've got the memes, and I'm ready to talk to you about Las Vegas. Right, let's begin with some memes at the beginning of the weekend. We don't usually do it, but I feel like it was a big talking point. Vegas chaos. At Laura Leslie F1. Thursday at the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I receive your money. You receive no action, an overpriced t-shirt, and no refund. Now, we did cover this a little bit in the podcast, but I feel like I should also address it for those funniest tweets, listeners, watchers, absorbers. My God, wasn't it a travesty? Hey, I know we had an amazing race and everyone is going to be lauding the fact that we had great action, but that does not excuse what went on Thursday. It was a travesty. I'm completely and utterly confused about how the whole process went along, why they even did free practice 2, why they didn't tell fans that they were planning on cancelling it a little bit earlier than 2 a.m. But yes, it was disgraceful. The $200 thank you for your support was an interesting way of saying, yeah, we messed up, but we're not going to apologise because we know that might get us in a little bit of trouble if we do that with our lawyers. So instead, here's a $200 gift voucher that you have to use within the Las Vegas stores, and that will give you probably one hat. At Formula Latest, out of context, Las Vegas Grand Prix. Now, there was a lot of funny jokes about it, of course, but on the flip side of that, I am just mainly relieved that Carlos Sainz is okay. Of course, Ocon had that contact, I think, as well with a water valve. And yeah, I'm just really glad that the drivers were okay, because Carlos went over it, and it actually caused a hole in the floor, like an actual see the ground kind of hole, which is very concerning. That could have been a lot worse. And I'm so glad that Carlos was okay. Of course, it completely screwed his weekend if we're looking at it from a sporting perspective, where we could have had Red Bull versus Ferrari. Now, I know I'm trying to take a little bit too much here. I know. I should just be happy with Leclerc versus Red Bull. But you know where my allegiances lie. And if Carlos Sainz was in that fight, Ferrari have a much better chance. At Matin MJS, Vegas, baby. Yeah, that kind of sums up lap 1, doesn't it? Lots of carnage, Verstappen taking Leclerc, but we'll get onto that one. But a little bit further back, you had Alonso sending it like it was in a sprint lobby. Carlos Sainz had a little spin as well. He had that cute little kissing of 2 Formula 1 cars as well. Poor Bottas completely got caught out by that. But yeah, low grip surfaces I'm all here for, not just purely because it works in Ferrari's favour, like cold, low grip surfaces, although I will be petitioning for a 25 race calendar around Las Vegas next year. But I like it when drivers are struggling. I like it when they're really working the wheel and they don't know what's ahead of them. That really tests their skills and abilities much more than them knowing exactly the track condition that is coming and the setup to go for. It was really interesting to have Verstappen and Perez on completely different car setups. That is what Formula 1's about. Victor073, everyone who hated on Vegas after the race. Now, look, there are people that just wanted Vegas to fail because they wanted Vegas to fail because it was a popular thing to do. I'm not on that hype, as I've said in the podcast previously. Look, Formula 1 are going to be in Vegas. We know they want to get that cash money. So from our side, from a fan side, we need to think, well, we can't really change what Formula 1 want to do in America, but we can try and make it better by being constructive with the things we'd like changing. There were things that need changing. The session times. My God. If you're out in Vegas, to be fair, if you're anywhere pretty much in the world, it does not work. In Europe, no, really early. In Vegas, it's midnight, 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. if you've just watched free practice 2. It didn't make any sense. It really didn't. I really hope they make it a lot earlier. I know there's thinking about the roads and this, that, and the other, but it needs to be earlier. It does. Think of the people that work in Formula 1. They're absolutely shattered. They're going to bed at 6, 7 in the morning, and then they're back up ready to go again for another day of action at the end of the season as well. They are destroyed anyway. They don't need that. So anyway, back to my point. You can hate on it for some things and the way they treated fans and whatnot, and perhaps you don't like the track and you want it to be this, that, and the other. But let's be constructive about it, you know? Let's push for change. Red Bull versus Leclerc. Oh, goody. Wasn't it a weird thing for us to be in Vegas and not Twitch streaming, and we missed to be live with you lot on Twitch and, of course, react very quickly on social media and YouTube. Leclerc fighting for the win. I don't think I've done any jinxing there because I was there, I was watching. So, yeah, that was fun. At Apple the Proto, another Charles Leclerc pole to Max win, but it wasn't simple, was it? I had one of the most challenging things in my entire Formula One content career was trying to not lose my mind whilst being in the Red Bull hospitality about Charles Leclerc taking the lead several times. I didn't hold myself together very well, I'll be honest. Thank you, Red Bull, for not throwing me out. I feel like I was respectful, but slightly passionate. And the roller coaster of emotions was real. At Stage 4C, Max Verstappen is hilarious this weekend. Yeah, let's talk about the lap 1, turn 1, shall we? It was a slam dunk penalty. It's opened up a lot of debate about 5-second penalties in general and illegal overtakes and something, you know, I've also been inputting my opinion to this. And Tommy feels the same way as well, in the sense of 5-second penalty for an illegal overtake, especially when you are potentially a faster car, overtaking a slower car. Is that the right way to go about things? Now, some people criticize me for going, well, what do you mean? Well, Max would have won anyway, Matt, so why are you complaining about it being a 5-second penalty or switching the positions back when it's an illegal overtake? I actually think Leclerc would have gained less had they done the switcheroo on track. But the thing that I want to see is wheel-to-wheel battling. I don't want to see a time trial. Yes, we've had moments in the past, like Norris at Austria, taking that podium right at the last second with that 5-second can he catch Hamilton scenario. But I want to see on-track battles. I want to see Leclerc in the lead, defending from Max Verstappen. Not Max Verstappen getting past. Red Bull knew exactly what they were doing as well. They were going, well, you got a 2-second lead already. Just keep pushing and we should be okay. I want to see the action on track. Do you know what I mean? At Kibet_Clint, Max Verstappen the whole weekend. The whole weekend bar after the race. I found his comments slightly strange. You know, a lot of people were commending him for standing up against what Vegas perhaps stands for and things he doesn't like and this, that and the other. And that's great. He's being honest. But then after he won, you know, he's singing Viva Las Vegas. He was saying he can't wait to come back next year. I was like, oh, hold on a second. Were you not just saying that you don't like the track? I mean, he popped off about so many different things. So it was slightly strange to hear him then say, can't wait to come back next year. Perhaps he was just celebrating, enjoying the moment, which is fine. But he had criticised Vegas quite a lot. At Road Staghorn, the ace in the sleeve for Red Bull. Now, I know what this is talking about, and it's talking about the fact that Leclerc didn't pit, and both the Red Bulls did. However, I am going to back the Ferrari strategists. They didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. Leclerc was on 5-lap old hards at that time. Had he pit, he would have come out behind Perez and had 5-lap fresher tyres, perhaps. I don't even know what his allocation was at that time, to be fair. It wouldn't have worked, because then we would have gone, well, why have you pit Leclerc? You had reasonably fresh hards, and you've given up a position to a Red Bull. So I categorically, confidently say Ferrari did not mess up there. And for those of you that think they did, fair enough. At P2000_Tom, Verstappen to Leclerc at the start. Yeah, that was the most challenging part for me of the whole thing, was not screaming, well, that was a penalty, whilst being with Red Bull. I think I still did, because the fanboyism, it just doesn't stop, okay? I can't just, pause it and not unpause it. It's a thing. It's real. But my God, what a race we had. Like, it was so good. I would say probably the best race of the season, or at least top 2, because we had a change for the lead several times between Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez. We haven't had that this season, really. So for those that are saying, I saw some comments saying, that was quite boring, I'm struggling to stay awake. I'm like, what? I know we were in Vegas, but we were still watching on the screen. We were watching the same thing you guys were. How could you have found that boring? At El Rushi, Charles waiting for his position to be switched back. Yeah. They could have. Red Bull could have made that call, but there was literally no reason to. And Charles, I think he knew as well, deep down. He was like, this needs to be addressed immediately, i.e. the stewards go, change the positions back, because Charles knew track position was everything, hence why he made some gorgeous moves over the course of the Grand Prix. Oh, God. We'll get onto those. But he knew track position was everything, especially against the Red Bull. Speaking of keeping track position, he didn't here. At Jonty's corner, when Leclerc locks up and lets Checo through. I don't recall my face being on the sphere, but if it was, whoever paid for that, you are a genius. But yes, that was shocking, to say the least, because it seemed like he might be able to keep Perez at bay at this point, and then locked up. He was pushing so hard, was Charles Leclerc. He said after the race he maximised pretty much everything, barring the start and maybe that lockup. It was an amazing drive. But yeah, I thought it was done. I thought Checo going through after that lockup, I was like, right, P3, whatever. We'll just have to settle with it. At CRVJL Sebas, Charles, you both stopped under the safety car. Rebel drivers, yes. Charles. So this was in the cool-down car, or whatever you want to call it, which I actually quite liked. I enjoyed the fact that they were in there. I felt as though the drivers didn't know they were being filmed, or maybe they forgot they were being filmed. I'm sure they were briefed, but maybe they didn't listen. So they felt quite relaxed, quite calm, chatting about the race, this, that, and the other. But Charles' reaction to both of them having stopped was obviously a picture. But again, he wasn't in a position to pit. So it was more just like, so that's why you were quicker. Because who knows? Without that safety car, Charles Leclerc could have won. I still think Max probably would have got him. But there was more hope. At Crystal Horner, FIA giving Max Verstappen a 5-second penalty. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up. Now get out. It feels that way. But we've had many moments before this where we've discussed it as well. I see the occasional, where was this energy when... Insert XYZ example. These people, right, they have no idea, because all of the times before where these questionable things happen, we talk about them. If you're one of these where was this energy when crew, do you research, see if there was actually energy? Because most of the time, there was. Honourable mentions. At that LARP chick, rough time to be Perez. Yeah, let's talk about that last lap move. Oh my God, I've watched it about 25 times. Not purely because the move was amazing, but Alex Jakes, the absolute modern-day GOAT Formula One commentator, he delivered the spine-tingling just combination of me wanting Charles Leclerc to do well, Alex Jakes, and then actually Charles Leclerc doing it. Wow! That was a weird noise. But what a move. Sergio should have at least feinted to the inside line. He kept a very straight car, just focusing on his braking point. Charles was going to go for it, and he did, and he stopped the car, and it was beautiful. But unfortunately for Sergio, he's now lost a position at the end of the race back-to-back. So that's going to hurt just a tiny bit. At Agent 7x200, F1 fans, every time they see Ocon fight his teammate, we're all just kind of gripping whatever we can, whether it's a sofa or a controller or whatever it might be, and just going, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to happen. Of course, they came together in like Australia, but that was, that was neither of our faults. I'm sure it was. But you were expecting maybe some spice. Ocon was told not to pass. What did he do? He passed. Of course, those team radio moments are slightly delayed, so I'm sure as he was making the move, the team didn't go, hold position. But still, he was told to hold it, and he was like, no. At FM13316, Williams race pace at Las Vegas, go brrr. Yeah. Williams, oh my goodness me. I actually saw quite a few Williams fans when we did the meet and greet in Las Vegas, and I was like, 5th and 6th, there's going to be some points, surely. No points. There were some strategy, disadvantages that went on for Williams, but I am so surprised they didn't score points, especially after an amazing qualifying and also having a rocket ship in a straight line. But no, pain for Williams. And finally, Joe Gamer 6P, Lando Norris fans today. Oh, Lando. I'm so glad he was okay. didn't quite realise how hefty of an impact it was until we watched the replays. And of course, knowing that Lando went to hospital to get checked out. But thank you the Lord that Lando is okay. But for McLaren fans, it was a very, very difficult weekend. Oscar Piastri, I'm actually so impressed with how he drove. He was just a bit shafted by the strategy and, of course, having to pit with that contact with Hamilton and the punctures that they both got. And also Hamilton, I just want to say Hamilton, my God, that guy, how has he beaten George Russell after all the things that went on in his race? Ridiculous. Of course, George had that contact as well, but still, Hamilton, what a drive. But of course, we'll talk about that more in driver ratings. Okay, it's Tommy's tasty tweet time now, but Tommy is still travelling back from Las Vegas, so instead, it's Matty's tasty tweet time. Yeah, here we go then. So the winner of F1 23, big thanks to EA, is at Loch Ness. I don't remember this episode of Carpool Karaoke. That is so good from you, Ness. That is brilliant. That is an amazing tasty tweet. I love the screenshot of Max just like kind of zoning out. And you are a very worthy winner of F1 23. Right, that is it. Thank you, everybody, for watching the funniest tweets to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Sorry it's a little bit delayed, but, logistics and trying to make sure that we actually enjoy Las Vegas, but also get the content right. I hope we have satisfied your P1 F1 content needs this week. If we haven't, I'm sorry. We will get back to a much better routine going into Abu Dhabi. I'm actually flying to Sweden tomorrow, though, because I've got some F1 sim racing stuff. So, yeah, it's a busy time. Hopefully I haven't missed anything out, because I am very tired, and jet lag's going to kick me in the bottom. But I hope you've enjoyed Funniest Tweets. It's been great to do this once again. And thank you to all of you for that came to the meetup as well. We did a meetup at a hotel away from the track, and so many of you turned up that we got kicked out of the hotel. They're like, you can't be here. No, we're caught. There's too much health and safety. You need to leave. I was like, jeez. But thank you, everybody. Thank you. Just for anyone that came and said hello to me and Tommy. We loved our trip in America so much. I'm wearing the Gran Toro t-shirt right now, which was the road trip that we did, and it was unbelievable. And yeah, I'm going to stop talking because I could go on for ages. See you very soon.